This is the video you've been waiting for, the red velvet cake. Let's get started. Sifted my flour, added sugar. At the end of this video, you will have the recipe for this cake. I stirred those together, added my lard in here. We're going to be doing a lot of mixing. We're doing this from scratch, so make sure you have a mixer. That is a must. This is a hard mixture because we haven't had any liquid. So with the hand mixture, you do have to have a little bit of a patience. I used the mixer and I kind of pressed it together to make sure everything is incorporated a little bit. Now it's time to add the liquid. We're going to add buttermilk. Buttermilk, you say? Yes, buttermilk. I believe this buttermilk gives it that southern flavor. Well, it helps give it that southern flavor. Pretty much, we're going to mix almost after each step, so just stay with me. This is a close-up of how this looks already so far. Isn't it pretty? We're not done. Time to add some more things. So we're going to add an egg. Mix, 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 mix. All right, giving you a little close-up to see how it looks. And guess what? We got to add another egg. And after we add this egg, we're going to mix again. Look at my lips. That just means I'm working. Add the vinegar. Yes, vinegar. Vinegar in the cake. Yes, I think the combination of the buttermilk and the vinegar is really what gives this cake its oomph. It is a rich and flavorful cake. Almost every time you're doing a cake, you got to add some flavor. We adding vanilla. Now, again, the recipe to this cake is at the end of the video. Not only do I want to give you the recipe, I wanted you to see the instructions. Now it's time to add a little bit of that baking soda in this cake mixture. After we add that, we're going to add a little bit of salt. Yes, there is salt in sweet recipes. Y'all know what we got to do after that. We got to mix. Mix some more. I guess you say, now this batter is white. I thought this cake was red because you got to put some red food coloring in it. Not one, but two. If it's not red velvety enough for you, you can add another half bottle. And you'll see later in the video where I needed it to be a little bit darker, so I added a little green food coloring. But this part is what I wanted you to see. Isn't this so pretty? All of the colors coming together. Gorgeous. Yummy, yummy. While I'm mixing, I am scraping the edges of the bowl to make sure I get all of the batter so it can be incorporated in this mixture. Turn it all red. Remember I told y'all I like my cake to look a certain color. So this is why I add a little bit of green food color. Not much, just a little. Now it's time to put the cake in the pans. And I equally, visually added the batter in each pan. Now, if you don't know how to do this visually like I'm doing it, just pouring it, you can use a cup to pour it in each pan. Once I get the pans filled, I like for the batter to be flat in the pan so it doesn't raise in different spots. So I kind of like shake the pan a little bit to try to flatten it out so when it cooks and bakes, you will have a flatter cake. This cake cooked on 350 for about 30-35 minutes until the toothpick in the middle comes out clean. Let the cake pans cool, and now it's time to ice. So what I like to do, I like to take the pan and I shake it from each side to have the cake loose. For my bottom layer, I take the plate and I put it on top of the pan. I flip the cake over. I touch it just a little bit, tap it so it falls out, and then I remove the cake pan. Voila! You have your perfect cake layer. There still may be a few crumbs left from the pan that you may have to clean off the cake and the sides because when you get ready to ice, you don't want your icing to look lumpy. If you wonder how I prepared my cake pans for my batter, go back to that video that I posted this week to help you get those pans ready so your cake won't stick to the bottom. Now it's time to ice this bad boy. Make sure that you have enough icing so you can cover the whole bottom to the edges. Now listen to this music while you see me ice these cake layers. I'm gonna ice my cake tonight. I'm gonna ice my cake tonight. Time for this second layer. All right, I'm gonna show y'all how I place my second layer on. Definitely gonna shake that pan. I put my hand on the top of the cake. I flipped over and took the pan off. Now I gotta put this on this other layer. What I'm doing here is turning the cake because my cakes, it did have a little bit of thin side. So I'm going to put the thin side to the thickest part of that bottom layer to make sure it's more even. And that's what I'm doing. And there you go. You put it on top. When you put the layers on, this is a 3-layer cake if I didn't tell you. When you put the layers on, you do have to protect it. So I'm going to use toothpicks because that's what I have right now. Make sure that your layers are even as it can be before you put your toothpicks in. Now, let me just say this before somebody gets started. I am not a professional baker. I am a professional at taking care of my family. This video can help the people that want to start baking cakes and learn how to bake cakes. So this is what this video is for. It is by no means saying, hey, I am a baker and this is the perfect cake, because it's not. But it's perfect for my family. Okay, layer 3. Definitely looking around this cake to see how I need to place it. I do it the same way as I did layer 2. Put my hand over it, flip it, take the pan off, making sure how I need to place this cake. I am putting the bottom up because it is the flattest. If you notice, the top does have a little bit of curve at the middle of it. Place a few more toothpicks to secure it. And now let's finish icing. This is going to go a little quick. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. Because I'm not a professional baker, I don't have one of those handy-dandy icing type tool thing that they use. I just got a regular old butter knife, a flat butter knife, to help me smooth this icing out. And it does a pretty good job. I've always used it. All right, now to tackle these sides. This is a little tricky. One thing when you're icing cake, you got to make sure that you don't get those crumbs from the cake mixed in the icing. Keep that knife clean, baby, because if you don't keep that knife clean, those crumbs will mix into that icing. I keep my knife wiped off whenever I see crumbs getting mixed in. Now, if y'all want to know what this icing is, I made it from scratch. It is whipped cream cheese icing. Now, if you want to see how I made this icing, comment, yes, I want to see how you made this icing. In this next clip, while we're finishing up, you'll see how I keep cleaning my knife off by scraping it on the side of the bowl because I do not want those crumbs to come through. We are almost at the finish line, but stick with me and don't forget the recipe is at the end of this video. I always want your food presentation to be A1. So you gotta clean that plate, y'all. All I did was just take a wet paper towel and I cleaned the edges or the side of the plate so it looked so pretty. I put a little bit of those crumbs on top from the pan just for looks. There is a taste testing for you at the end of this video, as well as the recipe. After I cut it, I wanted y'all to see how it looks in the inside. It is that gorgeous red velvety color without any cocoa. Well, let's see. Ooh wee. Oh yeah, that's good, y'all. I haven't baked the cake in a long time, but it's still, I still got it. This recipe shown is for a 2-layer cake, but if you want to make a 3-layer cake like me, cut the ingredients in half, add that half to the normal ingredients, and you'll have your 3-layer cake. Thank y'all for watching.